Cody and the Fountain of Happiness, Chapter 20, The Sweetest Thing. She was back. Sweet, scaredy cat Mew Mew had found her way home. While Wyatt ran to tell Mom, Cody cradled her close. Her fur was stuck with bits of burr and her nose dabbed with mud. "Where were you?" Cody asked. Mew Mew tried to reply, but for once, Cody couldn't translate. "You don't seem to be hurt." Cody rubbed her monogram. "You seem excelente." Mom hurried out in her powder blue satin bedroom slippers. Like a rock star, Mew Mew let them adore her. "We have to tell Spencer and Gigi," Cody said. "It's midnight," said Mom. "They're asleep." "I bet they're not," said Cody. "Please, Mom." So they put Mew Mew inside the carrier and walked down the street in the moonlight. But as they got closer, Cody got nervous. What if Spencer didn't forgive her? After all, she hadn't exactly found Mew Mew. The cat had found her own self. Cody hadn't done any rescuing. What if Spencer still called her a big fat faker? "Hey," said Wyatt as they turned the corner. Their lights are on." "They're on the porch," said Mom, and she began to wave. "Guess what?" Gigi and Spencer rocketed off the swing. "Look who's here," cried Gigi. She gave Spencer a bear hug. About half a second later, Cody got one too. There's Gigi and Spencer. I wonder why they were up. In Gigi's kitchen, the kids had cookies and moo juice. Mom and Gigi had cookies and wine. You practically needed a ticket to get a turn petting Mew Mew. Cody explained how Mew Mew had strolled up out of nowhere, as if to say, "What's the big fuss?" Then Gigi told how she and Spencer tried to sleep but gave up. Spencer, wearing his elephant/toaster PJs, nodded. "This is the latest I have ever stayed up in my entire life," he said. "Well," said Gigi with a chuckle, "you've done a lot of things you've never done since you and Cody became friends." Cody slid down in her chair. Did Gigi mean that as a compliment or something else? Besides, they weren't friends anymore. Mom stood up. "I have to get to bed. Tomorrow's the final day of my trial." Her forehead did its folding fan imitation. "And tomorrow I have to dissect," Wyatt swallowed hard, "a frog." So far, Spencer hadn't said a single solitary word to Cody, but now he followed her outside. "Maybe it did really work," he said in a quiet voice. "What?" Cody turned around. "She came back all by herself. Maybe Mew Mew really is hypnotized." "I didn't think of that," said Cody. A little fountain of happiness bubbled up inside her. She began to picture all the other people and animals she could hypnotize, but then she shook her head. "We better not take any more chances. It's too risky." "I never thought I'd hear you say that," said Spencer. "Right. Well, I better go." "Wait, I was thinking." "Is the sky blue?" Cody almost said, but the wise voice inside her said, "Be quiet." "Maybe Mew Mew wasn't lost," Spencer went on. "Maybe that first time she ran away, that time it was my fault and you found her in the tree, maybe she liked it and she wanted to do it again. Maybe she's not really a scaredy cat after all. Maybe, deep down, she's really brave and adventurous. Maybe," he stopped for a breath, "maybe I'm really sorry I said all that mean stuff to you." Inside Cody, the fountain of happiness shot sky high. "I'm sorry I said I knew how to hypnotize," she told him. "I just wish I did. Only not anymore. I'm sick of hypnotizing, to tell you the truth. And from now on, I'm going to think before I act. Not for a gazillion years like you, but long enough to make sure I don't do the wrong thing for the right reason. Or the right thing for the..." "Cody Louise," called Mom. "Come on." Cody sighed. She was worn out, but in a very nice way. "I'll see you tomorrow," Spencer said. "It is tomorrow," Cody said. "You act like you know everything," he said. High above, the stars winked. The man in the moon smiled down. Hush, hush, went Mom's slippers on the sidewalk. Swish, swish, went Wyatt's baggy shorts. In this life, many things are sweet, but that night, if Cody had to name the sweetest thing of all, it would be walking in the summer moonlight with her mother holding one hand and her big brother holding the other. That's where we're going to stop today. I think we have one more chapter left that we will read on our next day together.